Jenna Sackett here, kicking off the opportunities section of today's event. So we are going to be diving into markets that you can sell to using UltraColour Soft, or just in general as a heat printer, even outside of UltraColour Soft, but why this product can easily sell to a variety of markets. And in this session, we're going to be discussing the markets athleisure and fitness. Before we dive in, I want to let you know that Molly and Shauna are here with me, going to answer any questions that you guys have. So be sure if you guys have any questions to comment those in the chat section. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. So as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about how you can get started selling to, one second, going to adjust my screen here, how you can get started selling into the athleisure and fitness market. And why is this a market that you would even want to consider? So on the next slide, you will see a graph here done by the Morgan Stanley's global activewear sales as just gym clothes. And it has really sprouted into brands that have a mass following. So when we talk about brands that are extremely trendy in retail, we all know Under Armour, Adidas, Nike, but it's even gone outside of that, where people within the gym and fitness and wellness world have small brands and shops that they like to shop with, such as Gymshark or Navigation, Live Fit. There's a variety, and this market just continues to grow. So products like sweatshirts, hoodies, performance tees, leggings, they've all become staple pieces in modern lifestyle type of clothing, and they're worn even outside of the gym. We're starting to see them incorporated into day-to-day wear. So activewear sales has grown exponentially within the past decade. Allied Market Research expects the global activewear market to reach a value of $546.8 million by 2024. So in just a few years, you can, as a heat printer, be able to take a piece of this pie by offering activewear into different markets and niches within the market that are local, or even if you want to sell online. And consumers, why this continues to be important is because consumers are continuing to prioritize being healthy and practicing wellness. And they're doing it in style. So they're looking for trendy pieces that they can wear to the gym or to run errands. So not only is it specific to people that are extremely active, but other people are taking advantage of athleisure and fitness apparel because it's becoming more accessible. We're starting to see it a ton in retail. We have been seeing it a ton in retail, and they're just incorporating, as I mentioned, that into their day-to-day wear. So it's going to go beyond even some of those niches within the market, right? So then we need to consider who to sell to. We need to understand the demographic and its characteristics. So as you can see on the screen here, this is the Nielsen Global Consumer Exercise Survey. And you can find research very similar to this on the internet by just doing a quick Google search, and you will find very quick insight into these industry trends. So what I found here is a great idea of who is buying this apparel in this market. So you can better understand the products that you're considering printing and have quick insight into the industry trends so that you know what's going to hold the most potential to this client base. So just by looking at this exercise trends research, you'll quickly be able to work out that the key sportswear categories that are most in demand are gym and free weight gear and yoga and dance merch. And as you can see, 81%, millennials make up 81% of the pie here, all right? So that's 18 to 34-year-olds. So that gives you a really good idea of what demographic is within this market so that you are equipped to select the best apparel to reach the demographic within this market. Right, so now let's break out the market and understand what types of customers fit within this market. So these are the top 5 customer groups that I selected, or niches, if you will, that fall under this market category. And number 1 on the list is studios. So that ranges anywhere from yoga and Pilates, dance studios, and then we have fitness facilities. So CrossFit, cycling, boxing, any type of facility that has some type of activity going on, recreational centers, things like that. Then we have number 3 on the list, which is brands. And brands for supplements, gear, weightlifting type brands, what they want to do is typically what they have is promo products. But we are starting to see a lot of these brands start incorporating apparel and selling that alongside some of the other equipment and supplements that they are selling. Next is 4, so wellness and spas, so things like resorts and beauty bars. And then events. So events, a lot of these other category or these customer groups show up at these events and they want to be able to sell apparel. One of the largest events that one of these fall under is the Arnold Classic, right? Happens every year in March, other than this year, obviously, but it's kicking back off next year. And all of the supplement brands, facilities, they all go to this big event. And there's more throughout the year that you could be getting involved with, printing on demand, offering these pieces. Also, open houses and competitions. So competitions are really big within the fitness world. So being able to go in and print for the competition is another great idea. So I just want to pause for a moment so that we can really understand why we want to consider this as a market that we want to sell to, and why we're breaking out all these different customers, because activewear is continuing to trend. As I mentioned earlier, it's going to reach 546.8 million by 2024. And as a heat printer, and with just a heat press and with just UltraColour Soft, you can easily jump into this category and be able to sell to these folks. The folks that we're talking about are those 5 listed. And it's really easy to be able to find out who is in your area that you can sell to. So next on the list for our presentation, we have where can you find these types of customers? So researching local gyms, wellness centers, or studios in your area with either Google, all right, doing a quick Google search, social platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. These can help to select a niche that you would like to target for prospective customers in your area. Why is this something that you should do? Well, it's going to help you dig deeper into survey data, and you can gather more information and really learn more about your target market and what their inner drivers are to exercise. So as I mentioned earlier, millennials, that demographic within this market, they are so adamant about what they look like when they're going to the gym. I've heard quotes that are like, look good, feel good, work out good. So they're always worried about what's new. They follow popular brands for when they're dropping apparel, and they immediately buy that apparel because they love that brand. One brand that's doing this really well is known as Athleisure. It started out with a bodybuilder known as Christian Guzman, and he created this giant following on YouTube. People were just following his story. And then he eventually ended up with his own apparel brand and line. And now, because this following has tuned into him, he knew that they would want to buy apparel for them. So he knew their inner drivers and what got them to exercise. So they would follow him and everything that he would put out there content-wise for what they should be doing in the gym. Now he's equipping them with supplies, gear, and the like, right? So really great way to even be able to get connected with people in your area, maybe fitness trainers that want to start their own brand. So just thinking outside the box, different ways that you can sell athleisure and fitness apparel and really drive it home in this market. Right. And then as soon as you discover or uncover what the motivations are for your customer or your prospective client, and really know what matters, that's what's going to help you print products that align with their personal values and their aspirations. So for example, I have a friend that owns a gym in this area. He's actually listed over here, the Iron Forge gym. And I would always talk to him about what type of apparel he is selling and what he wants to sell. And it really helped me understand what the attendees of that gym would want to wear so that he could successfully sell his product to them and I could sell to him as the printer, right? So whether it's tees, tanks, gym bags, yoga pants, whatever it may be, it needs to be authentic and speak to your customer. So whenever I spoke with Trevor, the owner of Iron Forge Gym, the key factors that came into play were functionality, comfort, and that it needed to be fashionable. All right, so let's go ahead and review some of the apparel pieces that were selected to sell directly to this market and how you can use samples like this to go to your prospective client. So the first thing that was printed with UltraColour Soft was this long sleeve tee. All right, so this is a New Era brand, and this is available on Sanmar. One thing that you'll notice is that I selected very nice, like higher end type items from Sanmar to put on, to use UltraColour Soft on. So it wasn't just 100% cotton. We're looking at a lot of blends, 100% polyester, some spandex mixes, things that are a little bit, have a little bit more value or profit opportunity within the blank piece. And then we're just adding the more profitable piece by putting on the UltraColour Soft with it. So this is a New Era long sleeve tee, and it is a heathered texture. And as you can see, printing with UltraColour Soft, because it is that low temp application, we don't have any issue with printing some of these higher end items. So New Era is a really great brand when approaching this market. Another great brand is Sport Tech. So Sport Tech, we talk about a lot. We love the ST350. It's a really popular t-shirt by them, 100% polyester, and just looks really great whenever you're printing UltraColour on that. I showed it earlier in the application section of how to heat press UltraColour Soft, and we were able to get a really nice stretch with it. Sport Tech does a lot of really nice outerwear type items. And what I love about this is this is the ladies cut version. It has the tapering in the back and a drop seam. So another really great high-end item. Another great t-shirt by Sport Tech. This is a heathered poly tee. So just adding more texture to it, but this is just a standard short sleeve t-shirt. And then we are kicking it up a notch by going with Ogio. Right, so we showed New Era, really great brand that works really well with UltraColour Soft. Then we are discussing Sport Tech, that being a really great brand, looking at some of their more higher end items. And then Ogio is a really awesome brand. And I just love how the tone on tone effect worked out with this, because we're working on a heathered charcoal piece. And this is a really unique hoodie because it has a cowl neck to it and hood. All right. And then we took advantage of an additional print location. So throughout the event, we've been talking a lot about printing in unique locations to add more profit opportunity. And that's what we want to do whenever we're approaching clients. We want to show them everything that we can do whenever we're able to show them samples. I can add an additional placement here. And then once they see that and love it, you're building more profit opportunity into that single piece. So we did a sleeve print. All right, that is the Ogio hoodie. And then we have an Ogio tank. All right, so this is a high neck racer back tank, and it is a sublimated tank. So this is one you would definitely want to use the UltraColour blocker with. Jumping back to Sport Tech, this is a 100% poly mesh product. And we did a unique location for this where we printed the front lower seam just to add a different look and mix it up a little bit from your standard full front placement. And then we have leggings. So these are an Ogio brand. They are the high waist. They have the little Ogio emblem there. And what I love about this is it's very retail inspired. This is something that we're seeing a lot in the marketplace, is that we are seeing these like laser etched or laser cut open areas for additional breathability. And what I love about Ogio and a lot of the brands on Sanmar is that you are able to get a nice print area and print location with all of their products. They're always taking the heat printer or just custom apparel printer into consideration whenever they are selecting blanks to offer on their site. So Ogio does this really well, New Era and Sport Tech. So those are just 3 brands to consider whenever you are looking for a variety of blanks that you can take to your customer. Now, one thing I want you to consider is to not overload them. So I have 7 pieces here. I don't necessarily need to go and take them 7 pieces. The reason I'm showing you 7 pieces is because I want you to see that there are a variety of different finishes as far as apparel goes that you can print with UltraColour Soft. And I had a ton of transfers. So I wanted to select a decent amount of apparel to be able to show you so that you can see it's all achievable. So with all of the designs that I have ganged up on my UltraColour Soft sheet, I was able to print all of these items with just 1 sheet, right? So that's kind of putting that into perspective for you. I know Josh mentioned a customer saying he puts too many designs on one. But honestly, it helps in the long run, especially if you're just doing one brand and you need a lot of different logos for different placements and things like that. Now, what I did, and this is a little bit of a best practice for you, is I made sure that these 2 designs could go across different placements on different garments. Right. So whenever I'm building out my gang sheet, I'm making sure that multiples of these can work on different pieces. So for example, my large iron forged text that we're seeing here, that worked on the leggings, on the sleeve and of the hoodie, and then also on the front lower seam of this garment. Right. So I was able to use that print in multiple pieces of apparel, right? So we talked about, what different customer groups there are, what key factors the demographic within these markets or niches are looking for: functionality, comfort, and fashionable. And all of these pieces hit all of those. So definitely consider those brands, and then make sure you are ganging up your designs correctly on the UltraColour sheet so you can make the most out of that sheet that you're paying for. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you don't need to print all 7 of these just to be able to show your customer what you are capable of doing for them. So let me do another screen share with you and show you an example of another way to show a customer what you're able to do for them. So what you're seeing on the screen now is our Spirit Cell platform. And this is a mock-up store done for this gym in particular. So this is all done in the Spirit Cell platform. We were able to create all these mock-up images. So all of the garments that I showed you are actually being represented on this store as well. And I sourced all of these garments from Sanmar. And you'll also notice 2 additional ones that I wanted to add on there just to be able to show a little bit more variety. Those ones are sourced from S&S Activewear. So the beauty of Spirit Cell is that it is directly connected with the catalog of Sanmar and S&S Activewear. So it's easy for me to go in and create these mock-ups. So in the back end of Spirit Cell, all I did was import each individual item number, right? And then I just went in and dropped the logo. It's super, super simple to be able to create these mock-ups, create a store like this, and then show it to your client, right? So I just think outside of the box. If you don't want to go and buy a bunch of apparel, buy a bunch of UltraColour transfers, this is an alternative. And what's nice about Spirit Cell, even if you didn't land this client, which at this point, I don't know how you wouldn't be able to, but you can have unlimited stores on Spirit Cell. So even though I have this created as a sample store for them and they might want things interchanged, that's all fine and well, but I'm not limited to the amount of stores that I can produce. So I can make as many of these mock-up stores as I need to help me land a client. So take that into consideration whenever you want to show a client what you're capable of doing. All right, so you're seeing these mock-ups, you're seeing different print locations on the front of the garments, but you can also show a true shopping experience for your client and what they would be able to share with their customer as well. So we see the front here with that left chest logo, and you can also get a back view for added print opportunity, which also yields a higher profit margin for you. Okay. All right. So again, this is Spirit Cell. We don't have enough time on hand today to dive into the back end so that I could show you how all of this stuff was created. But we do have a video available to watch how you can create stores with the Spirit Cell platform. So you can check that out on the agenda page. It's towards the bottom, and you can watch any of those right now. But how to set up an online Spirit Cell store is there, and it'll show you exactly how this platform works. It's literally like 7 steps. It's a very simple, and then at that point, you just start importing your apparel. It's a great little platform and super user-friendly. All right, as we are wrapping up our presentation here, another thing that you'll want to consider is what your next steps are when it comes to printing for your customer or landing the job of a customer. So you want to deliver an experience. You want to show them what you're capable of doing. So if you want to print a sample, but make it unique, a lot of people have already seen their design on a t-shirt for the most part when it comes to these gyms or brands that you may be approaching. So switch it up. This cinch bag is $1.99 from Sanmar. So super simple to be able to create this sample and show them what they're capable of getting with you as their decorator. So not even though this bag is $1.99, it's still a quality product, and you're able to show them the quality print that you're offering them with UltraColour Soft, right? So buying an expensive blank doesn't even have to be a cinch bag. It can be a variety of things. It could be a hoodie. There's so many different opportunities out there when it comes to really packing that extra punch whenever you're going with those or reaching these clients. So you can either hand deliver this, mail it to them, and just include that messaging that's saying, hey, let us print your merch. Let me show you what else that I can do for you. Right. And that completes our presentation on how to get started selling athleisure and fitness apparel to these customer groups. Now, there are so many, and I'm sure there are a variety in your area. So it's really just reaching out, showing them what you're capable of doing for them, and not being afraid to put yourself out there and the quality products that you're capable of producing for them with just a heat press and UltraColour Soft. Now I'm going to hand it over to Shauna to go ahead and point out any questions that came through during this session.
Sure. So a couple of questions around how you applied the logos to the lace and the sleeve. Did you use a different platen, mouse pads, pillows?
So mouse pads definitely help with getting the seam out of the way if you're not using interchangeable platens. If you do have an interchangeable platen, such as the leg and sleeve, then that I highly recommend. With the A to Z, I just laid it flat on there. One I did have a hard time heat applying it was the legging, because I was a little too close to the seam, but I just laid it right back on there and hit it again a second time and increased my pressure a little bit more. But I highly recommend using the mouse pads and the interchangeable platens to your benefit to just knock those seams out of the way.
Another question on the red shirt, did you use UltraColour Stretch with blocker?
Which red shirt? So I just want to point out that I use UltraColour Soft on all of these. The only one that I would have used the stretch with blocker is this one, because it is sublimated. So you can actually see the pattern popping through there, which I think it's pretty cool, but the customer might not want to see that. That's their brand, that's their logo. So I would definitely use a blocker for this shirt because it is sublimated, but I did use soft on all of these products.
There were a couple of questions around the product numbers. Would you be able to go into the chat later and add some of the product numbers for the garments that you used?
Absolutely. I can share a link for each one.
Okay. And then do you know the size of the sleeve transfer?
I believe it is. All right, let's see. This is 11 1/4. So it's about 10 inches in length.
Okay. And also a product link to the shirt that you have on, to the Unleash the Color shirt.
Okay, yeah, I'll include that in the comments. I'll have to connect with Kelly Walters on that one.
Okay.
It's from Sanmar, and I'm pretty sure it's Sport Tech as well. So I'll get the item number for that.
I think we got all the questions.
All right, awesome. So John Laux is up next right at 4:30, where he's going to be talking how you can start selling to the sports market. Thank you guys so much for attending. I'll see you later in the Q&A.